Hello, viewers, and welcome to one more episode of the Enoch generation, a generation that walks with God. Well, in our studios today, we have with us Pastor Joseph Naveen, and he pastors a church called the Altar Freedom Center. He is also the founder of the Awakening Ministries, and more than anything, I would like to introduce him as a powerful servant of God, a powerful vessel in the kingdom of God. I've known him from before he even entered into ministering for the Lord, and I've seen the way God has been using him, and I've really been a part of his journey, and I'm grateful to God for that. So today, Naveen is here with us to share his journey with the Lord. So warm welcome to you, Naveen. It's so nice to have you. I think I've been making several attempts to bring you into the studio, but it's been a God-ordained time that you are here with us, and I thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Auntie, for the invitation. It's such a joy to come together like this after a long time.
Yes.
Even though I've known you for a long time, but doing this with you, it's such a pleasure, and I give God the glory.
Yes, to him belongs all the glory. He's got his perfect timing for
Amen.
everything. So, well, Naveen, now I want you to tell us, you've been born and brought up in a Christian household, and where and when did your journey with God begin?
By God's grace and mercy, I was just not born in a Christian family, but I was born in ministry.
Wow.
I think right from day one, I've seen my parents serving the Lord. So ministry was never new. Mummy has been there for the ministry for more than 40 years. My father has been in the ministry for a long time, and I've seen God working in us and through us ever since childhood. But about my upbringing, my parents brought us in a very, very secured way, which means our lives were very small. We didn't know much about the world. In fact, I still remember since mom and dad were in the ministry, when we used to have the summer vacations for about 2.5 months, my parents used to send us for minimum 5 VBSs.
Wow. So you became master of the vacation Bible schools.
Could be. No, happy thing is we were able to have fun in different VBSs, but the sad thing is every VBS used to have the same theme, same song, same memory verse. But just that our parents wanted us to be occupied because they were busy in the ministry traveling, and for us it was summer vacation. So that's how we've been brought up. I think it was home, school, church. This was the triangle that we grew up. And so
I can really see the fruit of that triangle right now.
Definitely yes. I think what was sown in those days, we are able to see it manifesting now. So that's how we've been grow up. Mommy and daddy were very very strict Christian parents who brought us up in the knowledge of God, in the fear of God, and God was just not a luxury portion, but he was the priority. So everything revolved around this because mommy and daddy were this. So we were able to see that, and that was part of our system. But I think as days go by, and when I stepped into my teenage and my college, when I had to come to a place where I had to decide my future, I think I came a point where I said, I'm not going to do ministry.
Oh my God.
Because I've seen my parents, the struggle in the ministry, their sacrifices, their suffering. So that has been, and mommy and daddy were very transparent with their ministry, with their life, with their family, with their needs. So nothing was hidden. But definitely we were not in poverty. We studied in the best school. We had the best resources given. But as you said, since both of them in the ministry, we wouldn't grow up like every other kid who we see in the school. We had our constraints, we had our desires, cut down. So all those things were there.
I'd like to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
So now that you had you were brought up in a very closed atmosphere where church, school, and home was the only thing. But when you interacted with kids at school, so you said that you found them, in a different society and things like that. Did you have that desire that you wanted to be a part of them, or were you being asked by those kids, why you are living a sort of a different life, and were you ridiculed at any point of time?
If I would say no, it's a big lie. Definitely, the world or the atmosphere we live in influences us. Definitely, yes, I did also. But I think the God factor in my life was so rooted that the influence was there, but it did not overcome me.
Wow, that's awesome. I think the young people in this generation need to listen to this.
Definitely. In fact, I still remember, I studied in MCC, Chetpet. I still remember, we used to play cricket in the lunch period. And I'm not exaggerating, it might be funny, but I used to be the umpire in my classmate. I used to be the referee. Just for the sake, people used to say, this guy is a Christian, he won't lie.
Wow.
And it was so funny, but that's how the world pursues us. This guy, he's a Christian, he's a child of God, he wouldn't lie, so that's how they saw me, and definitely growing up in school, in college, in a secular context, that thing would influence. But I think the God factor was so rooted. I'm sure the hand of God was there, definitely, and I'm sure my parents' prayers were there, but that didn't overcome me. We were able to keep our priorities right. In fact, many of my friends used to smoke and drink, but it doesn't mean I used to sit down and pray 24 hours, but I used to hang out with them, go out with them. But I had to make a choice and saying, listen, I can talk with you, I can have fun with you, we can go out together, but I can't do some things what you are doing, because my view of life, or my priorities, or what my convictions are different. So I think I never struggled in that area. But I think when I was in youth, I can definitely say that I didn't do a lot of wrong things, but I still didn't do a lot of right things.
Okay. But even then, Naveen, wouldn't it have been pretty difficult, for you to say that no, and the way people would have looked at you at that moment and said, oh, you think you're too, goody, or, whatever that is.
See, even now when I go to my school reunion with my school friends, they call me father. Hey, father on the terrace. Hey, father, that's how they call me.
So you were a father right from then.
I do not know then, but maybe then people could have called me, hey, he's a banana. They could have called me names. But I think that's the part and parcel of your journey with God. And I think those names are just not to mock you, but to give you a hint that you are in the right place and you are doing what you're supposed to do.
But this is something really great, Naveen, because in that age, when you're being influenced so much by your friends around you, for you to take a stand and for them to see something different in you. So, for example, you say they make you the umpire every time you play cricket out there just because you're a Christian. So, there you are reflecting, the glory of Christ. And I think as a child, it's pretty difficult to take your stand and to, for others to see Christ in you.
Yeah, actually, to be very frank, I could have been a bright student, but I was a completely naughty brat. I was naughty, and I wasn't a very exceptional student when it comes to marks. But even then, I wasn't a complete last rank guy. But I did have my own, own share of passes and failures. But that was there. But when it came to my choices and my convictions, yes, the struggle was there, because I used to see my friends spending like money, like when we used to go to excursion and picnic, those guys were loaded with money. But my parents used to give me money, but not as much as they used to have. But those things were there. I saw all those things, but I do not know. It's still a mystery that God didn't allow me to learn some hard things, but in a very costly way. God protected me from all those way. I still remember, even when I was in school, even when you're talking, I'm reminded of this. I do not know where I got this. Every day, I used to take 3 tracks. I'm saying when I was in 7th or 8th standard. I forgot about this after you asking this question. I'm reminded how God was at work. I used to take every day 3 tracks. And with my little handwriting, I used to write on the track. Of course, the track was filled with scriptures and stories. I used to write, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you. And I used to travel by PTC bus those days. And randomly, I would give those 3 tracks to 3 different people by traveling in the bus.
Oh my God, so you've been an evangelist right then.
Yeah, nobody taught me.
Ministry was running in your blood.
Could be, auntie, could be. But as you said, I didn't do all these things because someone told me. I didn't do this because my parents were doing. But I think silently God was at work from a very young age. So whatever I am, I think even yesterday I was thinking when I was driving that what I'm doing now, I don't think it could have been possible by my own desire or my mere passion for the Lord. I think there was some election of God.
Amen.
Even at that young age. So we just need to thank the Lord.
I can just see the Lord, when He was forming you, He had so many dreams about you, and the seeds of greatness and talents that He has put into you, which is all bearing fruit right now.
Yeah.
But you allowed the Lord to operate in your life, and I think to God belongs all the glory.
Yeah.
So then, as you moved from school to college, your teens and all that, and when exactly did you have an encounter with God?
Yeah, after school, I did my college, but the transition was slightly hard because I had a very rough patch when I was finishing my school. In fact, I felt very sick when I was doing my public exam. I couldn't write my exams, so I had to redo a year because I was sick those days of exams. So it was hard, I think God took me to a path of a short time of failure. Of course, that failure was not a failure, or a big one, but losing a year because of sickness was a huge thing at that age. I couldn't write, so I had to redo one more year. And I think those days God was actually dealing with me, breaking me very quietly. God was doing a work. And as you said, I think I had high ambitions. When I said high ambitions, I never wanted to be in the full-time ministry, because even now I don't believe in the term full-time ministry. But since growing up in a family that was serving the Lord, these words were very familiar. So I didn't want to do full-time ministry. What I was saying to God was, Lord, I want to study well, maybe become a software engineer, earn lots of money, build a nice big house, have a car, get married to a beautiful girl, maybe for my parents' legacy to be carried. Maybe I could have done Saturday, Sunday ministry, or maybe Sunday ministry. I think that was my thing, But of course, I never wanted to completely lavishly enjoy life, but I wanted to have a very comfortable life. Maybe because of, as you said, we had a lot of restrictions when we grew up. But when I entered my first year of college, I used to go to a church called Emmanuel Methodist Church. I was one of the youth leaders, and that particular year we had a youth camp, and in that particular youth camp, in fact the speaker was a Methodist pastor from Hyderabad, but in that particular youth camp the Lord touched me, the Lord anointed me, and the Lord called me for ministry.
Wow. But how old were you then?
I think I was about first year college, means about 18 years. Yeah, 18, 19 years. So, but that encounter was, of course, I think right from my childhood, yes, VBS Sunday school, my parents would never compromise on Sunday worship. I mean, I do not know, today, lockdown, we are so comfortable with church at the sofa. But those days, my parents were very strict. On a Sunday morning, even if you are sick, go to church and die, That was the priority of them, church was
It was go to church and live, not go to church and die.
yeah, but sometimes you say, oh, well, I'm sick, let me take rest. They said, no, no, no. You have to be in Sunday school. You have to be in choir practice. You have to be in the youth. So, as you said, I think church, college, house, that was the triangle for many, many years. We never even knew anything else outside this triangle. But as you said, I gave my life to the Lord when I was very young. I think when I was in Sunday school or VBS, I think in every altar call I used to lift up my hands.
So the altar call became a way of life for you.
Way of life, definitely. Every altar call I used to say, Lord, I give you my life. And I think even if someone will
So
say...
the final altar call was at the age of 18.
Could be. Could be. I think even...
So one more doubt, do you still raise your hand for the altar call?
Not anymore. Not anymore. No, what I was saying was, I think every time God was renewing His relationship with me, not that, of course, I had my own shares of ups and downs. And as I said before, I didn't do a lot of bad things, but I still didn't do a lot of right things. I think holiness is not the absence of sin; it's the presence of God.
Amen.
So just because I didn't drink and smoke doesn't mean I was completely
Exactly.
good. I had my own shares of struggles as a young person, as a teenager.
Because nowadays I think sin is being put into different sort of brackets. So, okay, I'm not an adulterer, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't drink, I'm fine. I don't smoke, I'm fine. But there's so much more to sin is what people don't understand.
Definitely.
So I think what you told the audience right now would really make an impact. Well, we've been listening to Pastor Naveen and his younger days and how God had been molding him. And well, what I enjoyed most was the number of altar calls that he reacted to. Well, maybe he thought it was his duty to react to every altar call, but God had a purpose, God had a plan, and at the age of 18, God had touched him and He has transformed him. So we will be going to the next episode, and we will be, talking about his walk with the Lord after his encounter at the age of 18. So till then, it's a goodbye and a God bless from each one of us.